Hello to anyone who could be watching this. You're watching a game that was arranged through the Gauntlet, which is a community on the internet that gets together and plays tabletop role-playing games online. It's pretty rad. Mostly tabletop role-playing games of the indie persuasion. You can find all the stuff that Gauntlet does at gauntlet-rpg.com, where you'll find all sorts of cool things related to indie tabletop role-playing games. Kind of find as PBTA games, OSR games, Fortune Dark games, story games, lyric games, all that fun stuff. There's blogs, forums. There is the zine that the Gauntlet puts out called Codex, which usually contains supplements to existing games and original games in itself. There's also the podcasting network that Gauntlet has, and every now and then there's also the Gauntlet Community Open Gaming, where it's like a mini online con for folks to jump in and try out these games with the fab members of this community. But they're kind of like one of the most important parts of the Gauntlet is the calendar, where all the Gauntlet's games are kind of like put up, and anyone can like come in and sign up for them. Open table, all the fun stuff. 100 plus games put up every month, and this is one of them. This is our look at Hello World, which is a game by Charles Simon and I believe, yes, their brother James Simon. Um, um, it is a Forged in the Dark game, which means it is a hack of Blades in the Dark by John Harper. Wild Blades is, a game of scoundrels, thieves, rogues in an industrial fantasy city. Hello World is about users in a crumbling digital utopia where memory is um, is physical and defines people, while the world, this digital utopia, it's meant to be post scarcity, but it's just there's a lot of people in it and they all want very different things. Um, um, and we're looking at a crew of them. We have half our lovely, ridiculous dynasty with us. So why don't we get to know the two that we're going to see, and hopefully we'll see through this mission. So first off, let's go left to right in character keeper. Just introduce yourself, pronouns, anything you want to shout out, and give us like a brief description of your character. So yeah, we'll go left to right. So Brandon, why don't you start us off?
Hi, I'm Brandon. He, him. My character is Vortex. She, her. Although her avatar is not, is almost never humanoid or anything even approaching it. Her avatar is a water spout. And is as large as the visual size permits in any particular space. She doesn't remember. She is a victim of trauma and doesn't remember exactly who or what she was, but she thinks she might have been an architect at one point. She seems to be good at making things and breaking things.
Hello, I'm Pavel, and I am playing Clint 6. Clint 6, they are, I'm looking for the playbook name, the Seeker. They are the Seeker, meaning they find stuff and they shoot at stuff, or how it is called, they ping stuff. They had this weird memory that they think they were someone really important in the world, like the moderator, maybe the administrator, and that someone has betrayed them, and now they are this normal user, and they're trying to find out the reason for this. And they come from a different world than we are here. They come from the lunar, which is very adventurous world where people go to dungeons, and there are all the media companies are on lunar, and they are trying to adjust to living in this crowded city metropolis like server.
Oh, I muted, made a joke, and nobody heard it. It's all good. Oops. That's my bad. All right. Before we jump into what's happening today, I do want to talk about safety tools that we're using. Um, um, for anyone who's watching this, we're using lines and veils. For those who don't know, lines are things that like won't be crossed, just won't show up in the fiction. Veils are things that can happen in fiction, but we're not gonna concentrate on it like it happens off screen, or gets like a line or two. We're not going to concentrate on it. There are some stuff that are marked ask first, which basically means if we are introducing them to we're introducing that kind of element to fiction, we'll make sure to like bring it up to the table first. I pull the table first and make sure that everyone's cool with bringing that in. They're also using script change, which is like a series of commands, kind of like lets us modulate the fiction as we're going. So there's kind of like 3 commands that I want to bring up. First one is rewind. When you call for rewind, you kind of back up to a specific point in the scene, and we kind of do the scene over again and avoiding whatever issue led to the rewind, trying something else. And it could be any issue. It could be like a name. It could be like the general like point of the scene. Like it could even be something as big as like, say, the mission I'm presenting to you. If folks are like, it doesn't seem that terribly interesting, you can absolutely rewind and we'll figure something out. And you don't have to explain what your issue is. It's absolutely not needed. And if a rewind is called, we will respect that and we'll rewind and try a different tack. Other commands that are kind of like pertinent to us is fast forward. When you call for a fast forward, you kind of like fade to black, and advanced time is needed, to avoid content elements of play. It's kind of like part of the veils thing that we were talking about. And that you call for fast forwards. Basically, we don't need to concentrate on the scene, or we know what's going to happen. We don't need to like linger, so we'll just fast forward. And lastly, there is also pause. Which you can call for a variety of reasons. If you need a break from like an intense scene, or even to take a bio break, or even to like, if you want to seek some clarity as to what's happening. Like it's kind of part of the open door policy we have here in the Gauntlet, where basically if you feel the need to step away from the table for any reason, whether it's an emergency, you're more tired than you thought, or you need to call a break to deal with something, or even to just take a bio break, we'll pause the game and we'll let ourselves be comfortable. But yeah, so let me look at my notes. Okay, so I think let's start in the server that our dynasty is based in server known as Sirius, the new Arcadia. It's this benighted, eternally rainy city with no boundaries. It's about the cosmopolitan bustle and being in the center of it all. Interesting enough, I think none of our 2 characters are from this server. They're both from different places. So that's interesting. Actually, I think none of the crew is from Sirius. They're all here in this.
No, we've grabbed a space.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you grabbed the space. Using the one time you used authority to kill someone. I think you killed one, either an architect or a moderator. Someone close to the administration. I remember this.
Yes.
And you took a piece of their property. And we'll define where your lair is when we have like the full crew here. But for now, I think we're gonna be in. Ooh, let me ask, Clint 6. In your time here in Sirius, what is kind of like the least favorite hangout space you've been to? Like a bar or a cafe or some place where folks generally like congregate. What's kind of like one that's really never been your style?
They have this like huge, enormous constructs, like very tall, extremely heavily populated with users, and there's so much static. People are like sending, receiving messages, fighting, dealing with stuff. It's just 1,000 users per one memory core. It's like you are there and you are feeling like you are smooshed in the memory bank, and it feels too crowded. And unfortunately, this is the place where we sometimes have to hang out to get jobs from various people who are willing to pay us for doing stuff. So,
Yeah, I think there's
but
like a
yeah, where I'm from on Lunar, the most we have is like, I don't know, 10 users per memory core, and here's like 1,000 or 2,000. It's like crowded.
yeah, you gotta use that space. I mean, what's the point? Who needs breathing space? You don't breathe.
Yeah. To be
Um,
perfectly clear, I'm totally riffing off Judge Dredd Mega City, the buildings.
yes,
Just to be
the
clear.
blocks.
Yeah.
absolutely. Um, I guess I should also ask, Vortex being kind of like being like a non-humanoid shape. Do you stand out here, or are there like other avatars like yourself in this like packed memory core?
Um, not a lot, and I get personal space as a result of that. There's, there's some people who are fascinated by the vortex, and some people who give me what what amounts to a wide berth. You know, who who are careful of getting too close. Because no, this is a weird avatar. It's almost it's almost it's not quite antisocial, but it has a very much "don't touch me" aura about it.
Yeah, I think we're your contact, who we've defined. His name is Lazarus. Is meeting you. Where do you usually meet him in this memory core? Um, like, is there a specific spot or like a bar or place where you would meet
So
him?
Lazarus one. So Lazarus was an architect. Do we know anything? Who are the architects? Do you have some idea?
Let me double check. It's like,
Yeah,
see,
I would say that it's the equivalent of a it's digital library. It's a reference. It's a reference area.
Mm-hmm.
A big space with with sort of what looks like brass globes that float around. Which are portals to the archive. It's essentially little mini libraries.
yeah. To say like
Um,
it's defined in the book, architects are kind of like they're in the big server usually. Helios, the the tippity top. That doesn't mean they can't slum it down to the other servers. But yeah, I think you're kind of like in this.
there's also, I mean, not all the architects are interested in mega architecture.
That's true.
Some of them are microcrafters, or the equivalent of people trying to do urban renewal.
Mm,
You know,
yeah.
uh, or what am I thinking of? Like street project equivalent things,
Yeah.
where you're trying to use the existing space rather than just bulldoze it and replace it.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, and I think definitely Lazarus is one of those. Yeah, they're not interested in bulldozing stuff. I think when they're like come to meet you, I mean, well, they don't really have much of a facial expression because I think you can see the picture. Their head is like completely chrome black. They're it's quite robotic. Like these weird white yellowish white eyes, and they've got this trench coat um, and a suit. Um, and yeah, I think yeah, they meet you at this library space, kind of like in like the usual nook where usually most of the gang meet. And and he kind of like, well, again, he doesn't have expression, but you can kind of tell that like he's a bit perturbed because he's looking at the two of you and it's like, uh, just the two of you today.
They're busy.
Perhaps two will suffice.
Just
How?
two of us, but the same pay as usual, you know.
Yeah, we're repping. We
Right.
are representing. That's what that means.
His face is very impassive. It's like, okay, sure.
He has a face.
Yeah, he has a face. That's it. It doesn't.
It's
it
like
doesn't,
his face is impassive. That doesn't impress me.
yeah, oh yeah, he has a face. You don't.
I can make faces, I think. I just don't.
Mhm.
One of the little data balls gets lazily caught in the vortex and just turns gently around and around while the conversation is happening. Just, as if it was just sort of passing by and got picked up in the wind.
I think like he kind of immediately dispenses with the small talk and just says, "Very well then. What do you two know of the Golden Mile Raceway?"
Quick look up.
No, you don't have to look up.
Fairly
You can,
popular.
absolutely make up stuff. I'm like, what
No,
would your
I
characters
understand.
think about?
That was background narrative commentary. Sorry.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Sorry, no worries.
Looking. Raceway. Popular enough. Some some of the usual reports of fixed races, but nothing unusual. Yeah, a guy named Garrett. Recent publication says he has evidence that some of the recent races have been fixed, but he's a liar. And it's not clear if he's got anything built about 15 years ago. Last heavy mod about 3 years. Everything from chariots to formula cars and speed bikes, according to different tastes and seasons. What else do you want to know?
Wow.
Kind of decorations, kind of cheap in my opinion. But the audience there doesn't care. They're looking at the race.
Wow. I'll tell you something that I know that's not on public record. They are planning an expansion of the raceway quite soon. In fact, it's planning to cut through Mute City and potentially disrupt and displace several 100,000 users and processes and demons of all sort out of their living space.
They've been trying to do that for a while. Are they really going to do it? Finally?
Well,
They've gotten politically blocked up until this time. And no, did they finally get a sympathetic admin?
whatever political blockages they have been removed, and they're
That's going to suck for all the displaced people.
Fortunately, whoever's running the raceway, and there is an organization behind it, even if they've been quite opaque and secretive about their membership, it's quite top heavy. I have a vested interest in making sure this expansion doesn't proceed as planned. It will introduce a certain skein of instability into Mute City.
But somebody's making a lot of money on it. A lot of money. A lot of mem. So it's top heavy. So you mean if the top's gone, it doesn't go through?
I think like the closest way that Lazarus smiles is a tiny twitch on the left side of their mouth. Like a tiny.
Okay, so this is operating on somebody's personal contacts, and so if he's not there to do the greasing, it's not going to happen.
Yes.
Yeah, silly to have such a big enterprise tip on one user's stuff, but it happens. He's got to have a lot of protection, though. What's going on? What's our in?
Despite their protection, I am well appeased that our mysterious user actually races on the raceway. So there will be a time when they will have as much protection as anyone racing on that track would. And well, their
Accidents happen.
the resolution is not unknown to the Golden Mile Raceway.
Especially not with razor bikes. What is that what they're racing?
I think like Lazarus like turns to Clint Six and just kind of like just casually just asks, "You have much opinions on racing, Clint Six?"
I'm actually much more interested in actually racing than talking about racing. So yeah, I'll be right there in the fray. Maybe I'll even win the race and get some bonus. We'll see.
Well, that's up to yourselves. I don't have a mind for this kind of planning. I prefer streets and flow. This type of work, I'll leave it entirely in your hands.
Good. That's why you're hiring us to do the job.
And yes, I'll compensate you as I usually will. Even
Okay.
if
give us the particulars.
yeah, and I think what it actually does is like he reaches up, but then but it looks like he's about to reach for the info cube that's stuck in Vortex, but then just like, may I?
Oh, I'm sorry. Sure. I spit it back at him.
He just grabs it, and he's just kind of like typing and adding like info to this info cube. So here's kind of like the details of here's basically like what you have to do. You gotta track down our mysterious head of the Golden Mile Raceway, and eliminate him, or eliminate them, or at least basically make sure that like the expansion doesn't happen. And the way to it is to you can eliminate him, you can convince them some other way. It's quite open-ended in that regard. And yeah, the details, like there are 5 different like big racing groups in the Golden Mile Raceway. And like you said, yeah, there's different kinds of racetracks or race vehicles from razor bikes to chariots, and whatnot, and they go all around Sirius City.
I need another refresher to just make sure that we are on the same, that I am on the same page as you are. So the guy who runs the races wants to expand the business, and he wants to take over the other 4, or he wants to kick out some people from the neighborhood and make the track bigger.
The latter. He wants to make the track big. He wants to kick out a lot of people from like another neighborhood to expand.
Okay.
The whole complex.
So do we know who is he making a deal with? So there has to be like two parties dealing, or like
that's something you can find out, because we're now kind of like in the realm before the score.
Right.
Okay.
You can this kind of like part of gathering info. Some ways to like add more color, add more info to right before the score. It's quite a bit open-ended. So we've got some time before we roll engagement, before we jump into the scores, to figure out what do you want to do with what info. You can absolutely find out whoever they're making a deal with. That's absolutely up your alley. Just tell me what your character is doing in the world, and then we'll figure out how to like what dice to roll and whatnot.
One way to guess who they're making a deal with is to see who's moderating the areas that they're trying to take over. Because that has to be, they have to have chatter about that.
Yeah.
Even if there's an admin involved, they're not going to blindside their moderators.
Yeah. Tell me, how are you trying to find out who that moderator is? Like, what is your character like doing in the world? It could be as simple as like asking people, or maybe looking to some archives, or and then we'll see if like there's any risk or whatnot to the investigation.
Yeah. What do you think, Clint? You want to go dig? You're probably better at it than I am.
Sure. I'll go look around, see who is the boss. So yeah, I guess Clint will be basically walking the memory lines, observing what is happening, who appears when there is some trouble, who appears to be in charge. So yeah, and I'm trying so far not to get involved, just to observe. Maybe I'm actually I think that would be this.
Yeah. And this is a gather info, so there's no risk to it. So this is basically what's called a fortune roll, where basically we'll roll, see what you find out. There's no risk to this yet, because you're not delving into enemy territory, as far as you know. So yeah, and how we determine that is you tell me what function you're using. And this could be like whatever you think your character's doing, but this sounds like a find.
That sounds like
Yes,
So
that would be a find for me.
Yeah. So because it's a fortune, you're just gonna roll, and we're gonna see whether you get you get limited, standard, or great info.
5.
So yeah, you get standard info. So I think and follow-up questions are quite possible. I think let's see. Yes, in the sheet there are like possible follow-up, and there are possible gather info questions in your sheet. So yeah, I think you're kind of like in where the expansion is like meant to happen. I think Lazarus would give you the info of like, where is this track meant to like cut? What neighborhood would it like displace in Mute City? And Mute City is the most population dense region, not just of the Sirius server, but of the whole world. It's kind of like living in the shadow of Echo City, where the raceway is. It's the nice place, and apparently they want to expand downwards and cut through this neighborhood because they need more space. Apparently, bunch of jerks. But yeah, I think what you find is like the neighborhood that the raceway is cutting through is. I don't think many people would have noticed it if not for the fact that it's going to be cut through. I think there's a lot of you think that memory core you're in was crowded. This is like a lot of people not just filtering through here but living here, and yet from what you can tell, there's like only there's not much moderation here. In fact, in this specific memory core, which we'll call let's see, what's a fun name for this neighborhood? We'll call this memory core a silent hall, because it's not silent, because some folks are are ridiculous about it. Silent hall, which contains hundreds no, thousands of users. There's like one moderator here. Well, they're not moderator. They're recently promoted to the moderators. What you find out, they used to be a troubleshooter, and their name is Gant. Which it would be familiar to you, Clint Six. I think you just talked to like some people. You might even have spotted them at Silent Hall. But you know, there's a lot of people, and so you're just kind of hiding within them. What's I guess the thing is like if I ask for like what they look like or what they seem like, then I have to find a picture to put in the NPCs tab of that exact description. But no, go ahead. I guess I want to know like how are you feeling when you spot that like Gant's kind of like in charge of Silent Hall?
Yeah, I think it's like, that's that's really interesting, and yeah, Clint Clint isn't oftenly surprised by some of the things, but he just like, if we could see his eyes, he would squint and whisper to himself, probably in some ancient language, and we would only see like a translation of it, and I got you in my sight, Gunt. Yeah.
Yeah. So and I think you know that like, or at least you'll know that to if anyone is gonna have to make a deal with anyone to expand anything, they have to talk to like the recently promoted the moderator in charge. And Gant used to be a troubleshooter, but now they're a moderator. Wonder how that happened. Wonder how.
Surprising.
Yeah, surprising. Okay, do you have any clarifying or follow-up questions? Because they're possible. I'll give you one, because you rolled a 5. And it doesn't have to be from that list. If you have like a more specific query.
Yeah, I guess we are looking for a concrete job opportunity. So I'm going to kind of like ask, where is the deal going to happen, or like when? Because I don't know, maybe there's like a big race coming up, and I noticed that some of the racers are like inviting the moderator to infiltrate. I'm just like looking for a concrete like a place and maybe the time of the deal, so that we will know when probably the mission will happen or something like this.
Yeah. I think you'll probably, if you get close, you'll hear Gant is like talking to like a communication. They're quite loud. They're a bit unsubtle, honestly. They're talking to someone you don't really identify, but they're saying like, they're talking about the big races coming up, and it's the Sunset over Mercury grand finale race. It's kind of like the ending of the season. It's like the last Grand Prix, and they're talking about how they got to be ready for when that finishes, because and I think they probably mentioned that like they're betting on some racers to win, but it doesn't matter because we'll have to meet up after. So yeah, that like they're meeting up with one of the racers, whoever that may be, at the end of this Sunset over Mercury race. And I think did we say at the Golden Mile Raceway at one of the pavilions? Because I'm imagining there's like a big pavilion space where the race like starts and ends. Okay, so that's a good info. The thing with like gathering all this info is like it helps figure out our engagement and what our plan is for when we do engagement. That's kind of like what we're doing, and also add some color, wallbidding, whatnot. I guess I want to know, Vortex, or anything you want to like find out.
Yes. They're going to be expanding into Mutant City there at the borders of the raceway. And I'm betting, actually, what I'm looking for is a plan B here, which is that I'm going to visit the raceway and see what I can do to find its weakness, its weak spots.
Ooh. I will say that because it's kind of a nice bougie kind of like place. I think there's like a lot more weird avatars there. Not as weird as what you have, but like there are folks who are like centaurs. There are folks who have fairy wings. There are folks who look like palm trees that have had legs and arms sprouted out. So, and I think you can see like the pavilion center. It's when there's not a race, it's kind of like a mall / museum to the Golden Mile Raceway. But yeah, how are you looking for its weaknesses? Like what is like Vortex like? I say physically, but there's no physical attributes in kind of in the digital world.
I'm trying. I'm pretty good at getting into places I don't belong. So that's what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to try to get into the understructure of the raceway.
Ooh.
It has, I mean, for the actual races, it has a huge support structure, both physical, as it were, and for the purposes of, monitoring, diverting power to the race avatars. All of the observational infrastructure.
Yeah.
And I'm going to see if I can, get between the cracks into that and have a peek behind the scenes at the wiring.
Okay. What function do you think you'll be rolling
This
to be
is
doing that?
Go to.
All right, yeah. I think because there's not much of a race, I think it's all fine for now. There's no risk.
Yeah.
So roll 2d6 and we'll take the highest.
Okay.
Wow, it's a lot of fives happening
That's
tonight.
all around.
Yeah, which mixed success is still a success. So yeah, you get standard like info. Since it's a success, why don't you what is like Vortex like? How does like Vortex? What does Vortex find out? How is like this raceway kind of being controlled? What's the kind of like weakness does she find?
Well, this raceway wasn't stripped and decked completely when they built it. In other words, they didn't peel it down to the foundations, as it were. They kind of just built a heavy duty platform on top of existing code.
Yeah.
And then built the raceway up from that. And some of that stuff down there has deteriorated. And that's not a problem for the races pretty much, because the races don't strain the physical architecture. But if somebody let off a big enough bomb in the understructure down there, it would bring part of the race infrastructure down hard.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think that's a that's a pretty good thing to find out.
That's basically right. I mean, in other words, there's some subsidence under the physical metaphor. There's some subsidence underneath the foundation, of the raceway, which, as long as the slab is intact, isn't going to cause a problem. But if the slab were ever to crack, it would suddenly shift.
Yeah, who knows if that's going to happen tonight.
So you were searching for the weakness of the racing track in general, yes?
Yes, I'm looking for a way to threaten the race.
Hell yeah.
Because if we can't get to the person who's doing it, the next best thing we could do is to is to, to hit him in the purse, as it were. And any serious threat to the race infrastructure will hurt the race badly from an economic standpoint. People won't trust it, especially if anybody gets derezzed. And it might not be racers.
Yeah, we'll see. Who knows? We'll see.
There's a few people there's a few thrill seekers in the crowd, but most of the people who attend these things are not desirous of putting themselves at risk.
Okay, we've been here for like an hour, so I think if it's okay, let's come back at 15 past. And then we'll probably see if there's any more info you want to gather, or we'll see what the plan is. What you two are planning about. So we'll come back at 15 past the hour. Okay, so so far we've got a weakness in the racetrack itself, and where deal is meant to be happening, which is at the Golden Mile Raceway Pavilion. Where the racetrack begins and ends, part museum, part mall, part racing stands. Also, I didn't remember this, but I just remembered that in the Ready Player One movie, in the first trial, a big old race. Yeah, so imagine that vibe, kind of to the Golden Mile Raceway.
Awesome.
Cool. Anything else, folks, I want to do unless you want to jump to planning?
Yeah, we need to decide what we're gonna do, because I see that both of us are going into different directions. So my plan is to somehow acquire a vehicle to join the race, and kill them during the race. But I think Brandon's plan is completely different.
Well, no, I mean, I just, it was just something that I could find out.
So to give more details
that
to my
might
plan.
be good. Are you good at racing?
No, but you are.
Yes.
I'm good at shooting, and you're good at racing, so maybe we can pull this off. But I'm totally open to other ideas. I was actually thinking about maybe because you have the restore, I would literally like to see the restore. Maybe you can restore the champion from the last year, and suddenly we can appear as the last year champions and demand to join to vanquish the opposition this year. And just the wildest idea I could come up with.
Yeah.
But I'm horrible at driving. Yeah.
I can. Yes, I think I can race. One other to kill or hurt somebody during the race is going to be hard if they're a good racer, unless something goes wrong with their bike during the race.
By the way, have we established what kind of race it is? Because in my memory, it can totally be like a death race, the cars with guns and stuff. But do we have some other idea what kind of race it is?
Yeah, the thing is because you're in a world where the worst can happen to you is being de-resoluted unless you use the kill authority. Yeah, there are absolutely traps, schemes. There's death-defying corners and loops. Rival teams absolutely try to sabotage, try to shoot each other. It's kind of considered unsportsmanlike to just shoot at someone, but not to say that hasn't happened.
Awesome.
So absolutely, there's room for it's basically more of a Mario Kart race, or again that Ready Player One race. So not to say you can't shoot at anyone. It's just the tricky part is finding out who to shoot.
Yeah. So
well, that's the thing. We need to have a target.
Yeah.
Because going after someone during the race, I mean, we're essentially talking about all-terrain racer bikes here. So where the racetrack itself is a bit of an obstacle course. I'm
Yeah.
I can take out another of the racers, but I don't know who to take out. That's the problem.
You mean we need to know who to take out?
Yeah, I mean, if we're going to go after a racer,
Yeah.
you can't just take the whole field out without, without terminating the race. So if the objective is to take out the intel that he's in the race is an important one. We just need to pin down who it is.
Yeah, sure. I can deal with that. And then we can see how we will come up about this.
Can you? So you're. So how can we find that information out?
I think I'm going to hit. Now I don't want to roll 0 die, so I think I'm actually going to go to my friend. Do going to friends give extra die this system as well?
Usually in downtime, but I'll let you have it because it's a friend.
What are you
hold
trying
up,
to
hold up. Just someone. I just saw Steven enter the waiting room.
What are you trying to do?
I want to go to my friend Obelisk and ask him which car is the leader of the. I'm sorry. Can we have their name? Golden.
The
something?
Golden Mile Raceway.
Yeah.
Who's in charge of the Golden Mile Raceway, basically?
Yeah. Which car are they driving? And I'm going to go to talk to my.
Yeah, I mean, is there a
Obelisk.
sponsored car? Is there a?
Yeah.
Or a money link?
Well, yeah, that's what Clint's gonna go talk to their friend for. Hey, Steven, how's things? Can you hear us?
Yeah, hey there, I can hear you. Sorry about just flaking on this. My time has been really off the past week.
Yeah.
No worries, it happens. Just to keep you up to speed, we're in the middle of gathering info and preparing for a score. Basically, the Golden Mile Raceway, which is very fancy racetrack in Sirius, is planning to expand into a neighborhood in Mute City, and Lazarus has basically contracted you to not let that happen. What we find out is that the head of whoever's running the Golden Mile Raceway, which is quite secretive, is making a deal with one of the newly promoted moderators of the neighborhood in Mute City to do this expansion. And organization-wise, Golden Mile Raceway is top heavy. So Lazarus basically said, you take out this mysterious user who's in charge. If you take him out, then the deal will kind of collapse while he's been resolute and staying in the stack. The thing is, the only thing they found out is the only thing you know is that this user is one of the racers who does like to participate in the Golden Mile Raceway. What we found out so far is the person they're making a deal with, who is an ex-troubleshooter, newly turned moderator named Gant. We also found there is a structural weakness to the raceway, thanks to Vortex. So far, the plans we propose is to enter the race and eliminate the user mid-race, because this is a proper Ready Player One style Mario Kart death race, because who cares about death in this place? Cool. So I guess
the problem with what we don't know yet is which racer is our target.
Yes.
So can you help with that?
I think Clint's idea of talking to their gangster friend.
Steven's here.
I was gonna ask also so Steven.
We can bring Foxtrot right in.
Yeah, I'm actually wondering. Yeah, what is Foxtrot doing to help in this?
Oh, gee, I'm I'm really good at punching stuff and getting punched, but like, what else am I good at? I have a little link. Um,
You can add two. You can add 2 dots.
Oh yeah, I was telling. I think I mentioned in
So
the
compensate
email.
for the games we missed.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can pump up your link if you want.
Yeah, you have 2 dots and 1 extra special ability.
Cool.
That's actually going to suggest that maybe your gangster friend Clint is the way in to get into the race. You never know what gangsters can do. You're muted, Pavel. We can't hear you.
Yeah, let's wait. Let's wait with that. Let's bring in Foxtrot. Maybe they want to do something. Maybe think else. Maybe they want to find out who the target is, and then we will see how about getting into the race. I think that maybe this can actually be the engagement. How well we got into the race. I don't know. Maybe
Yeah.
we will start at the first position. Maybe at the last. I don't know.
Yeah. The thing with like engagements is like you propose whatever plan you want, and then we don't have to care about the details. We will just roll, and we can fill in the details there. Like there's like 1 detail, depending on the plan you pick. But other than that, whatever like extra stuff we'll fill it into flashbacks. But yeah, let's see Steven's character. Let me look it up. Right, yeah, the one with the talking sword.
Well, I don't have a friend. I don't have them as a friend, but I do know them. A prize fighter. And if this is like an all-out death race, perhaps, I could persuade what's their face?
Blue.
Yeah, Blue to maybe not take part in the race and instead let another person, one of us maybe, take part.
And,
Yeah.
I can race, and I can do this, but I don't obviously need a target. So we'll get it.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. So this is. I think this is gonna be like just a bit more gather info. I don't think there's any threat to Blue. Well, actually, since they're not your friend and you just know of them, maybe there's a threat to this. There's some risk. Because you're openly campaigning to like let someone else through. Yeah. How do you want to do this, Foxtrot? What are you rolling with?
I think just to play off of one of the things I'm actually good at outside of fighting is I think probably I am meeting them I think at one of the racing fight clubs. To like chat with them and just kind of try to work this into the conversation, as you do.
Of course. Yeah. And I think Blue, who surprise looks blue, kind of won't notice you at start because you're not friends. They know of you, but like just another cyber knight. And your talking sword, who is with you, just kind of like is like sighing behind you, just kind of just saying like, are you gonna play nice with this one, or are you gonna be brutish with this one?
But I'm always nice with people, Jazz. You were the never mind.
Care to finish that sentence, Foxtrot?
No, okay, they're coming up. I should probably stop talking to myself. Hi.
Yeah, Blue is like kind of like washing their hands with like a rag of some sort, like a towel. Even though there's no need, it's all for show. You're all digital. And they're kind of like, You're not you're not much of a racing type, are you? I don't think I've ever seen you in these circles. Foxtrot.
And what server are we on now, just as a reminder?
You're still in Sirius.
Okay, just checking. And my character is, just as a reminder for myself here. Oh no, I'm fresh from the Jovian server, but I'm looking to we have a certain crew that we're looking to make our name here for ourselves here in the racing circuit.
Mm-hmm. You and every other stop off from Arcturus. Any reason you're talking to me about your hopes and dreams?
So how do they know me then? Or because I think the idea is that we know each other to some degree, right?
Yeah. I think like your look is kind of like a rather distinct kind of look. Cyber Knights is quite stands out, and you've got the big old sword. Not really the sort of thing they'd find. And your crew does have a reputation.
Okay, just yeah, I wanted to clarify for myself here.
Yeah.
I'm look, you've got a name on the circuit, and what we need now is someone who's going to help us what's the word? Vouch for us.
Right. You're not wrong, and I have a pretty decent name around here in the circuit, but where I stand, my crew, my rep, well, it calls for a certain kind of elegance, and your crew, from what I've heard, can be quite aggressive with what they want.
I can assure you that you do not get a name like Foxtrot without a little elegance.
I think Blue is looking increasingly more skeptical, especially when like Jazz kind of like whispers to you, "Oh yeah, that's making them feel much better. Why don't you do a little dance for them while you're at it?" I think this is the point where you have to roll.
Well, he's called Jazz.
Love to dance. Yeah. So because you're talking to not a friend, there's some risk to this. Yeah. What are you rolling here? You're muted.
I mean, I think still Link. I'm not exactly trying to deceive them or sway with misinformation.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll say this is risky. In that you're quite aggressively butting your way into the race, and people are gonna notice, and yeah, it's probably standard. You're very neutral with him, with them, or with him. I don't know. Like I said.
Yeah, what are you going with for pronouns?
I think I've used he. I think he they.
Okay, right. Cool.
I'll add that to. Yeah, he they. So yeah, 2d6 risky standard. Just explain to anyone who's not, because this is how this is how function rules work when there's like risk involved. You say what function you're doing to what your function you're rolling. Then I set position and effect. Position tells us how bad things will go if you get a mixed success. Risky is kind of like the middle ground. And standard is effect, how much effect you'll have. Usually mechanically that's for clocks. Standard effects like 2 ticks on a clock. Do you want to push yourself?
Well, I was gonna suggest just to complicate things and get me XP for later. Is Devil's Bargain he and Jazz used to date?
Here it's a demon's bargain.
Demon's Bargain, right?
Because you've got actual demons here. Um, yeah. I mean, gosh. I mean that's not a bad demon's bargain. I think like, yeah, I think that's part of how. I think he will just kind of casually say like, how's Jazz doing? As you're talking, as you kind of like abstract this out. Yeah.
Oh, Jazz is sharper than ever.
All right. Make that roll. Demon's Bargain means that's an extra die.
Oh, right, one more. Did it roll?
Oh.
Okay, I got a 6 though. I think I got 6 and 2 5s. I want to make sure that these are re-rolling. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, okay. So one of the dice is over the other. That's why I couldn't see. There we go. Yeah. Oh, you got a 6.
Yep.
Of course. I think that he lets out a very deep sigh. Well, we all, and because it's a 6, I'll give you something extra. Well, this race is going to be a wash anyway. We know the quote unquote owner is going to win anyway. So why not? Why don't you take our spots and make a name for yourselves on that race? You're muted.
Yep. Great, thank you. And I'll give Jazz my regards.
Tell him I'm looking for a chat.
Definitely.
Jazz is like whispers. So whispers says, "Tell them I'm not."
I'm sure he's looking forward to it.
Yeah, so you now have a place in the Golden Miles. Golden Mile races. Cool. Fab times. All right. So anything else you want to do, or should we get to the engagement?
Well, we
Do
really
we
need
know-
to find out the target.
Yes. Did you find out who in that process? Did you find out who the owner was since they intimated?
Yeah, I think I should have added something like Blue was like quite standoffish when they said it, but I think the stuff they said it as well. So like, doesn't matter if you come in, the owner's gonna win anyway. So what you get out of that is like whoever's winning, who's clearly winning. I think that he almost kind of says, it's. I think because you're kind of in the race now, you could hear more of the scuttlebutt. So like, there are like some races where it's usually like a very clear winner. It's always this person. It's always this person. And that person's name is, let me look up the names here. Yeah, I think their name is, sorry, I'm looking at my names list. I'm like, do I want to use him for this? Do I want to use him for that? I shouldn't be precious about these names. Their name is Alabaster Prime. They're not hard to see because they're quite cuboid in their look, in their avatar, and they usually don't enter the races, but when they do, yeah, Alabaster Prime. But when they do, it's almost always kind of locked. People kind of like, oh yeah, no, of course they're up against Roger Federer. Of course we're gonna lose. But I think because you're now part of the racing circuit, of this race, you kind of like you get like all the scuttlebutt, all the backstage talk, like, ugh, the Bastard Prime is entering, they're going to win. It's almost as if they own this race. Okay. So yeah, I guess yeah. Well, let's get into planning out the score. So first, you can choose a plan for the next score. They're in the player handouts PDF. You go to page 18 digitally. You see engagement. So there is assault, do violence to a target, and the missing detail, which is what you're providing, is the point of attack. There's deception, which is lure, trick, or manipulate. Details the method of deception. There's stealth, which is trespass unseen. Details the point of infiltration. Next is social. There's negotiate, which is negotiating, bargaining, or persuading. Detail is the social connection. And then there's transport, which is carry people or cargo through danger. Details the route and the means. Authority, you can't really do that until you filled up your rep. Because authority is you spend rep to use authority. And that also lets you tier up, among other things. So that's not an option at the moment since you don't have any rep.
Yeah, definitely sounds like we are doing an assault.
I
At
think
least
so.
that's my gut feeling. Joining the death races, it's sounds like assault. We're gonna do some violence to the target
Yeah.
with a bazooka or whatever
Oh.
goes for bazooka.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. You do have an aggressive reputation, and you do get crew XP for executing a
Yep.
successful battle or operation. It's kind of like
Yeah,
that.
Yeah, this is a straight takeout. This is, and with modest side bets on whoever the next favorite would be.
Okay. So just to like add a bit more color to like the plan, I assume like yeah, so Clint is gonna be in the race.
No,
yeah.
I don't think Clint.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I totally wanna race with in the same vehicle as Vortex.
Yeah, well, I mean, or Foxtrot could do the race. He's good enough. Which do you prefer?
I'm not sure if you are limited to the amount of users in a vehicle. I don't know.
It depends what we're racing. If we're racing razor cycles, then it's pretty much two.
I think this just to like add more color because like you said, chariots and whatnot. This is the experimental group or the anything goes kind of like group.
Yeah.
Because I will say right now, if you think it's cool to have the three of you in a vehicle and chasing down this dude, I'm up for that.
I don't think I'm not sure it's necessary, but let's see what Steven thinks. See what Foxtrot thinks.
I mean, I don't have a particular preference here, but
I'm fast and violent, but on the other hand, I can also tamper with the landscape instead of actually piloting the vehicle.
I'm imagining. Sorry, I'm just imagining like the three in a vehicle trying to chase down this dude amongst this shifting raceway, and having to fend off maybe the other racers.
I think it makes more sense that if Foxtrot and Clint 6 are in a racer cycle or something like that, and I'm going to actually tamper with the raceway.
Yeah.
During the course of the race. Yeah, well, this person, he doesn't just own the race. He's going to be good. And so we need to give him an unexpected obstacle.
That sounds really neat.
Sure. Sounds like a plan.
And because the topography of the race varies from one time to another. And if it were to suddenly rewind at a critical point, if an obstacle from last week's race were to suddenly appear in a lane just as you guys were making your move,
Yeah.
No, it might give you the edge you needed to spill in.
Mhm.
What do you think?
Sounds like a plan. Okay,
Foxtrot,
so
does that work with you? Are you
Foxtrot?
willing to de-res this guy?
You muted yourself. Oh, there you go.
Oh, that works for me. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So, building the die roll. Where's that in all these PDFs? Because I always like following that process. Hold on.
Engagement roll is on the very next page, on the 19th of
Oh.
the handouts.
There it is. Cool. Thanks very much. Oh, there it is. All right. So yeah, start with one die for sheer luck. Is this operation particularly bold or daring? It's a lot.
is.
Yes. Yes. Is this operation overly complex or contingent on factors? No, it's not. It's fairly simple. Does the plan's detail expose a vulnerability of the target? The details like the structural weakness.
Yes.
There's gonna be a part of it. I mean, there are parts like y'all gonna be shooting at or trying to hurt him. Yeah, so add an extra die. Does the target have a particular defense or preparation? I mean, they are the
they do.
owner. Yeah, they are the owner of this. So they will have defenses. It's just so I'll take away another die. Can a friend or contact provide aid or insight? Yeah, I think we can definitely do flashbacks for hey, Obelisk, our gangster friend, has rigged some stuff or speed up some stuff, or hey, cat friends can help. So yeah, I had an extra die for that. Why did I lose that space? Are enemies or rivals interfering in the operation? Clint, you didn't know who Gant was talking to, but that was one of your a rival of one of you. Gant was talking to, so take away another die for that, for sure. Cool. Are there other elements must be considered? I don't think so. You're a tier 1, so you're kind of you're kind of like on par-ish with folks at this point in the Sirius server. So 2 dice. Who wants to make that roll?
Stephen.
Sure, I can. And that's a 3.
Ooh. Love start with a bang. Let's start. Don't worry, just start a desperate position. It's so bad about that. All right. I think since we're near the top of the hour, I'll call for a second break. Just to give me a bit more time to think of what this desperate position is going to be. So let's come back at 5 to at the top of the hour. So 55 past. If that's okay.
Sure. And as a suggestion, maybe our vehicle had a malfunction and we are at the very end of all the cars. We have to fight our way to the front. That's up to you.
Well,
Or
he's got anti-personnel defenses on his car.
There's lots of ways to put you on it. The main thing is you're in a position of not great. You're not in a not great position. All right, cool.
Yep.
I'll catch you in a couple minutes. All right. So for those who, because for everyone who's watching this or listening to this, our friends here rolled a 3 and a 1. So we're going to start in a desperate position. So I think here's what it looks like. Actually, I should ask Clint 6, Foxtrot, what kind of vehicle are you two on for today?
I have the idea, but Foxtrot, do you also have an idea for a vehicle?
I mean, I have one really dumb one when Leandro mentioned Mario Kart, but if you have a better idea than that, feel free to mention it, Clint.
Mario Kart. I mean, is it just a kart?
Oh yeah, but there was one game where it was specifically like you had someone like ride it was like it was there were 2-person cars and you had one person riding handling items.
Oh yeah, Mario
Uh,
Kart Double Dash.
Yes,
Um,
that's why I was just thinking. I had that one very stupid idea, but
uh, I had a different one. I will save it for maybe for later. Yeah, let's go with the Mario Kart.
God. Um, and Vortex, you're probably down in the foundations, ready to mess stuff up.
Yes, I'm under the train.
Yeah, I think so I guess I think it starts off with like, all the racers are in track, and they have high profile entrances for some of the bigger race names, like there's this guy, Sanjay Ras. There's Cherished Ella. She's a perennial favorite, an underdog who always just gets there but never really wins. The poor thing. And there's Alabaster Prime, who yeah, is like, what if a bunch of cubes decided to take human shape? Is kind of like what they are. And you hear the announcers going, "Oh, there's Alabaster Prime, rarely seen, but always winning." Kind of like, you hear the announcers, and yeah, unfortunately, you lot didn't get an entrance. You're just there, not announcing your name, or anything. And I think, um, as soon as like the race starts, and kind of like the first section of this track is it looks like a very typical, like a Formula One racetrack. There's like some greens, some stands, and you are all kind of like above and winding through Echo City, which is like the nicest part of Sirius, kind of like the upper part. You're like, like Vortex said, you're kind of like built on top of codes, so you're almost kind of like nearly up to whatever clouds there is. So you're above the part of the city where that's always raining, so it's not raining here. It's nice and sunny.
And Golden Mile.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have one weird question. Is the track upside down so that the people from the down can look and just observe the race?
The thing is, no, you have to pay to see it. You can't be showing that.
Oh.
You're
Oh,
not
yeah,
everyone's
okay,
allowed
yeah.
to see. God, why would
Exclusive.
they do that? Yeah, it's exclusive, of course. Maybe there are parts that are like upside down so that folks see it, but only bits. They can't see the whole thing. You have to pay to see that. Come on.
No, I mentioned it up on yeah, yes, almost up on a raised platform.
Mhm.
Where little drone, picture drones circling.
Yeah. So I think when the race kicks off, I think Foxtrot and Clint, I think, but everyone in kind of like your pack kind of like feels it. It's like there's a weird time dilation kind of effect where like you shut off and like you're moving, but it's kind of slow, except for like certain groups who are kind of like used to this. They're like, oh yeah, no shit, it's that time dilation effect. And at the head of that pack is Alabaster. So I think by the time you kind of like get out of that effect, you're right. You're at the very last spot. So I've put 2 clocks on the dice roller. There is catch Alabaster and Alabaster wins. They're both 8-step clocks. They're basically what's called racing clocks, because that is part of the terminology. Basically, you want to fill one of them before the other one fills up. That's quite it. And any action you do to like to do it will fill up a clock. So even trying to track down Alabaster in the chaos will add to it, or will help add to it. So it's kind of like, it's somewhat like HP, but it's not just hitting someone with a sword. You have to find them. Meanwhile, though, Vortex, down in the foundations, tell me, how do you know when your rogue architect friend Beryl is nearby? How can you tell?
Um, uh, the I can hear her music.
music does she have?
She emits a it's like a it's typically flute music, like, you know, it's sort of lonely, intricate, these little intricate tunes of flutes that play over and around one another in stitching lines. It's both it's her signature, and it's the way she likes to build things, and it's beautiful, and it's what attracted me to her in the first place.
Yeah,
because
definitely.
we are exes, as you may recall.
Of course.
And so now it does not. It provokes, it provokes memories of, of when things were good between us, which makes me angry.
Yeah, this music definitely wasn't here last time you were. I'm kind of imagining there's like just pillars of kind of like code, almost like in this more raw form down here, and yeah,
Destructive.
yeah, um, and yeah, it's just the flute music kind of like fills the air. You know she's around. Um, so let's cut to the race first. Clint, Foxtrot, you're dead last. There is like, let's say, I'm not going to quantify how many racers are there here, but there's like a lot. There's a lot of them between you and Alabaster. How y'all feeling? What are you doing? Foxtrot, you're muted if you're.
Oh, I was waiting to see if Clint said something, but
Do you wanna go first, or shall I?
Well, looking at our, come on, there we go. Yeah, no, okay, I see. You're definitely, no, yeah, I think that definitely, if we're at last, I think that, what do I have here? Yeah, I'm gonna say that, I grab a hold of the wheel and try to pull forward, and I shout back to Clint, Clint, see if you can get any shots in that might clear the way for us.
Sure. Although I'm more of a precision shooter than but yeah, I'll think of something.
I shoot the equivalent of tires.
Cool.
Because I imagine I'm trying to push for making a go-to roll here with maybe getting Clint's help in this.
Yeah. Yeah, let's go through that process. So yeah, rolling go 2, so that's 1 die. You're in a desperate situation, you're way behind. I would say, yeah, you'd have standard effect. And if Clint, you want to assist with the shooting at least, so that.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, do we want to just assist, or do we want some group action? There was the one that to help to improve the effect, or do we want to just assist?
You can do a setup for Foxtrot. Setup is like it's a function roll, but basically they'll get better effect. So maybe you want to roll to shoot the vehicles so that when Foxtrot does their go-to, they'll have better effect. So that means more ticks to the clock, basically.
Rather, but not more dice, right?
But not exactly.
Yeah, I think I will resort towards my stress. I think I will use one of my stress, and I will just assist. And the way I'm assisting, I'm just like taking my fine spark mugs. One because I have one, and I'm just like standing on the back of this Mario Kart. It looks like I'm holding to the thin air, and there's like a weird imagination, like if I'm holding to like a rail in a metro to hold myself, and they're just like shooting wildly on the opposition so that they make us some space.
There we go. All right, take one stress.
Yeah.
That gives Foxtrot an extra die. Foxtrot, do you want to push yourself or take a demon's bargain?
Yeah, I'm gonna push myself here.
Okay. Oh shit, the dates are still there.
Is that stress when you push?
Yes.
That's okay.
I'll fix that later. Okay, so that's 3 dice with the assist and the pushing. I thought I had fixed that. Damn it. Hold on. So weird. That other time. All right, yeah. So desperate standard 3d6.
Yeah, and that's a 6.
Hey. So yeah, between the two of you, what does that look like when you push through the crowd? And tell me as well what's the change in like environment as you move to the next part of the race? Clint's shooting wildly, Foxtrot's gunning it. What does that look like?
I'm kind of imagine that as we're weaving between these cars, like it's full on, like they're doing like flips as Clint shoots into them. But I mean, you said this is no holds barred, so they should have seen this coming.
Yeah, and roll a 6, so there's no consequences. You're just gonna do it. And yeah, 3 ticks. Alabaster is inside. There's still kind of crowds around you, but I think Clint, you're kind of like seeker. You can spot this. How does like the environment around you kind of like change? I know you're kind of like in a raceway, but like in this race, the scenery around you does kind of change from the city that you're in. But where are you now?
I think it changes. We like leave the road or whatever was used as a road before, and right now we are just racing on a water with like waves coming from left and right, maybe some pirate ships appearing and firing cannons at us, and it totally looks like we are just driving on the water now.
Fab. Okay, I'm gonna cut to downstairs to the foundation to come back to you, Clint. I think Vortex, the way you can tell where the races are is kind of like the code tap pillars around you kind of like shift and change a bit, and I think amongst the flute music you can hear Beryl just humming and almost talking to herself, saying, I don't suppose you have anything more subtle in your back pocket other than bringing this race down. You were always so blunt.
Distraction is a necessary part of creation.
I suppose that's all you can do, huh? Distract.
No, I used to be able to do something else. But I don't remember what it was anymore. I used to build huge things. Didn't I? Enormous things.
I think if you're sincerely wanting to get something out of her, this might be a roll, but other than that, I'll just have...
No.
Okay.
This is yours. I'm sorry to blow it up.
Oh, honey. I don't want to say too much about what you used to do, but you were always very good at blowing things up.
Yeah. I think maybe that's all I know how to do anymore. And so I do.
You're just gonna do it? What does that look like?
So my friends are in the back and they're catching up, right? And things have transformed into a water part of the race, which of course plays to my strength. So yeah, there's a rumble, and from deep underneath the water, like a deep underwater volcanic eruption.
All right.
And I guess I should roll and see.
Yeah, you are still in a desperate position. I think the other two have managed to get out of there because they rolled good, but you are still in a desperate position. I'm gonna say that you figured out this weakness, so that's gonna be standard effect. The only reason it's not great is because Barrel's here.
Yes. I'm going to crank it to great effect though, because I'm going to use danger zone because I'm crashing the area.
Oh yeah. Yes, when you crash in the area,
that's so yes, Barrel is preventing this from being catastrophic, but she can't prevent me from blowing up this area.
Oh, why did I let you give these special abilities? Why did I do that?
That was the first one. That was the first one I picked.
Yes,
It was the second one I picked, but it was almost the first one I picked.
Lovely. All
Just
right.
because this character is a disaster.
Yeah. Cool.
So literally.
Yeah. So do you want to push yourself or get a demon's bargain? Pushing yourself costs 2 stress. Demon's bargain is a complication, but each of them will give you 1 die. You can only choose one.
And otherwise, you roll the number of dice equal to your.
Yeah, the number of dots.
No, I'll just roll straight up.
All right.
I'm doing crash.
Okay. 3d6.
So, is there a way to add a third die? No. All right, I'll do it separately. That's a 5.
It's a 5. All right, go. 5 is still a success.
They're piling on top of each other, but there's a 5 in there.
Hell yeah. Okay. All right. So on a 4 to 5, on a desperate, you do it, but there are consequences. So the consequences are either you suffer severe damage, a serious complication occurs, or you have reduced effect. I think it's going to be, and you can resist these consequences as it kind of like happens. So I think there's going to be severe damage to you, and if I remember correctly,
spend a memory.
Ooh, hold on. Yeah, this is. Let me just explain like what damage is. So, users take damage directly against their stress track. Usually, in a normal risky situation, standard damage is 2. Severe damage might be 3. But because this is your rival, this is going to be like 4 stress to your stress track, I'll say. So what this looks like is, you're going to create this like, tell me what this looks like, the water effect.
So there's this rumble. And for a moment, that's all that seems to be. And then the level of the water starts to pick up. Because this is an underwater generated tsunami. And suddenly the racers in the front especially have to contend with a breaking wall of water.
Yeah, that adds 3 ticks to the clock. So you're 2 ticks away from catching up with him, which is not killing him, by the way. You still have to catch up to
Yes.
him. But yes, I think your friends are well aware of what you're doing, so they can see the break on, like, yeah, brace yourselves, and maybe like even the water, they get an assist from the water. But I think as you're doing this vortex, suddenly you feel yourself being, even though like your weird water spot, suddenly you feel your code being stretched, as if like as you've interfaced with the code of the raceway. Um, Beryl is also is using that interference to get into you, and you can tell that Beryl got here before you and has
Yes.
inserted herself into the raceway's code. And
Right. Now, how does memory work for use? Or
memory.
is it something that comes back, or how's it work?
Hold on, let me double check, because memory here, it's used to mark off gear basically.
I understand, but how does it recharge?
Oh, at the end of, let me see, there's a specific point where it recharges. I think it's either during downtime or right before it's going. It recharges, I know for sure.
It
Okay.
does recharge automatically.
Okay,
Yes,
that's fine.
yeah.
All right.
After
So
skull.
I am going to, as Beryl reaches for me, I scream, "Get away from me!" And lightning and lightning flashes. I become electrified, and that's overcharge.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
So
Hell yeah.
so I'm gonna block. So I block the damage with a power surge.
Okay.
I said, you don't touch me without permission.
Yeah.
Not
I think.
not anymore.
Oh yeah. So yeah, at GM's discretion, yeah, you can either reduce resist damage. So yeah, hold on. Let me double check what that. Should one resist damage or a consequence? Okay, yes. You don't have to roll the resistance roll because you're spending your memory. Yeah. So I think that will. It will work like armor. It's gonna resist 2 of the 4 stress that's gonna hit you. So you're still gonna take 2 stress, because you're being stretched around by Beryl. But yeah, you only take 2 stress, and I think like she chuckles when you say that you're not gonna be hurt by you, but it's a tense kind of, oh, I didn't expect you to put up this much resistance kind of chuckle. And we'll cut away from you for the moment. Meanwhile,
But just a clarifying question. So,
Hmm?
why are we not using harm, but we are losing stress in this situation?
Oh yes, in this game, when you take damage, that's stress. In this version of.
So what is harm for then?
That's for if you don't want to take stress. Say you're 6 out of 9. You've marked 6 out of 9 stress, and if I hit you with damage, I don't want to take that stress. I'm just going to take a harm instead. That's what that's for. Then you take the harm equivalent. So say I'm hitting with 3 stress. No, I'm going to take level 3 harm instead.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I get it.
Cool. So meanwhile, I think you can see Alabaster Prime. He's having trouble with the break wall, but he's still breaking through. But all the others are kind of like washed out. I think the only person in between you and Alabaster Prime, I should describe. Alabaster Prime is driving a cube. It's kind of like a Borg-like cube that is just driving on the raceway. It kind of looks ridiculous. The only kind of like other racer between you and him is, like I mentioned, the perennial underdog, cherished Ella in her razor cycle. They're getting through. Clint, first off, tell me what's the next zone. Actually, no, I'll ask Foxtrot the next zone, and I'll ask Clint what you're gonna do. What is like the next zone of this raceway, Foxtrot?
Oh yeah, I think that like lesson was undersea. I'm imagining that we sort of like I just as this kind of weird juxtaposition, like we kind of drive forward, and the rippling of the water midway it turns into the rippling of heat in the air, and like it transitions like seamlessly from underwater to a desert.
Yeah. Hell yeah. So suddenly it's all dusty and really sunny.
So what used to be a tsunami is now a giant sand wave.
You're kind of driving over into the sand wave. Ah, it's amazing. I would say like there are other racers still behind you, but yeah, there's like just one more person, and yeah, you can see Ella is like trying to hit at Alabaster Prime. She's got like this gauntlet that's shooting out like shuriken. Sure, why not? Kind of like disc, kind of like weird razor discs shooting out the gauntlet. They got like a helmet, motorcycle on. They look probably the most normal, honestly, between the Mario Kart and the Cube. Clint Six, what do you do?
Yeah. So Clint shouts over the sound of the water and everything to Foxtrot. Hold steady! I'll be right back. And he jumps in the air as the shurikens are coming in. He just puts his hand forward, and we hear this like epic soundtrack plays. Raise shields, and we see like a shield raising, and the shurikens are bolting off. And my intent is to take over and jump on her bike, choke her out, and forcibly secure us the position, so that now we are in the second spot, not her.
Oh my gosh! I know what function role you're going with. Wow.
So I'm going for buffer because buffer says seize territory. I think position can count as a territory.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm buffering.
Yes, yeah, you're buffering up your position, I guess. Okay, let me think. Because I was gonna say because you're closer to Alabaster, you're not out of a desperate position into a risky position. But this is ludicrous and amazing, but it's a bit desperate. I'll say, and get you XP. Don't worry about it. I should say, yeah. Every time you roll desperate action, you get XP on that category. Um, so I should say I've already marked the XP as well for Vortex because they were in a desperate situation. But yeah, I think this is desperate. You're like as much as Ella is a perennial underdog, she's still a race. That means she's good. But yeah, I think this is desperate. I'm gonna say standard. She's not part of a faction. It's kind of on par with you. Cool. Do you want to push yourself? Because that's +2 stress, or do you want to take a demon's bargain?
Do you have some demon's bargain?
Our rival is going to reveal themselves.
Of course. Yeah, let's take demon's bargain. I wonder where the XOR will appear from. So that would be awesome. So yeah,
there's a lot of rivals. I know where Sora is.
So that's I will roll 3 dice unless Foxtrot wants to do something to help.
Yeah, Foxtrot, do you want to assist while you're here?
Yeah, I think that Foxtrot is sort of like, I imagine like for you to do this, like you shout at Foxtrot to like move into position, and I think like I execute some sort of like last second maneuver to help you in the car.
Hell yeah.
In the Mario Kart.
Yeah.
Yeah, take that stress.
Like I
and
spin around to like drive backwards so that you're at the front end and can jump forward to do this.
Hell yeah.
Awesome. Uh,
That's 4
yes,
dice.
I'm rolling 4 dice. I actually maybe wanna. I wonder if the improved position would give us anything in this moment, but I don't think so. I will take an extra die from the Devil's Bargain. 4 dice. Oh.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
So the best
you wrote,
is 5.
hell yeah. 5 is a mixed success. It's still a success, which means you will fill up this clock. So tell me what this looks like when you take control of.
So so the shurikens are bouncing off my shield. I just like land on the bike behind her, and I say, "Your time in the race is off," and I like throw her out into the sand wave. And then I jump back to the Mario Kart because we have our own vehicle. We don't need this crappy bike.
Okay, so 2 things happen. One is the rival revealing themselves. The bike follows you, and then it starts transforming, almost kind of like a transformer kind of like action. And I know I know you said where's Zora, but I said a rival, so I'm sorry, it doesn't necessarily have to be yours. So
Sure.
when this kind of like transforms and it jumps to like cling to your Mario Kart, Foxtrot, what does your rival M look like? The rogue process. As it kind of like
Oh, I mean, it's a process, and I think that like naturally it doesn't have necessarily a appearance, but I think that like let's see, their name is, just as a reminder for myself here. Yeah, I think that like there's always like the thing that marks it, and we can tell in the audience who it is that whenever it puppets other processes, we get like a floating smiley face.
Oh my god. So right now I'm imagining this like abomination of razor sharp blades and spikes stabbing through your Mario Kart, and there's a big old smiley face, a blobmoji one.
Yep, exactly.
Making like so that was from the Demon's Bargain. There's still another consequence here. In that I think yeah, I think it is. They're gonna shoot out another like shuriken, and it's gonna smash against you, Quint 6. So that's gonna be 3 stress.
Yeah, I think that Foxtrot will actually jump over, since it is M, and block it. I'm blocking it with Jazz, and I shout back at you to take the wheel, Clint. I'll handle this, and I'm gonna step in here, and I'm gonna take the harm. But because I have Guardian, I can avoid an additional stress for taking anything level 2 harm or more.
Hell yeah.
So what level 2 harm do I take here?
Whenever you take level 2 or higher harm, you may avoid +1 additional stress for it. Yeah, so this is like 3 stress.
Yeah,
so you're taking level
so I'm
3
taking
harm.
no stress effectively.
Yeah, basically. But you're taking the harm.
Yeah.
So yeah, level 3 harm. You've suffered a fault. That means you have a -1.
Well, I'm suffering level 2 harm,
Right.
but +1 stress for it. So I'm blocking 3 stress for 2 harm.
Oh, okay. Yes.
But I think if you want, you can also roll to resist first, and then maybe see how it goes. I'm not sure how to read it. Actually.
Yeah, I wasn't sure how harm works now. If harm is stress.
Because there seems to be 2 parts to this Guardian. When you protect a teammate, you roll with +1 die, and whenever you take harm, you avoid the extra stress. So there seems to be like a two-part to this guardian.
Yeah. Yeah, because like the thing is like stress as damage, that's kind of like the most basic way, but you can resistance is still a thing when there's like a serious complication or if they get reduced effect or if you lost position. Resistance it still works for that. Here I think
Yeah, that's what I figured.
yeah. I think like, yeah, you can like, protecting a teammate doesn't mean you have to do a resistance roll because
Yeah.
protection is basically you take the consequence. So when Foxtrot is taking that level 3 like 3 stress, they can just use like I'll just take the harm instead. So they don't have to do a resistance roll, but if they do, whenever they protect someone, they get an extra die, and you all get extra die anyway because of your crew ability.
Yeah.
So
To follow up on the mechanics, what would happen if Foxtrot would declare that they have armor now, because they can still spend memory to like have armor or something?
let me double check, but I'll say that I think it says here that like if you can either choose to resist damage with the armor or with the harm. I don't think you can do both.
Okay.
Okay, and how much armor gives just one?
In order to resist damage with armor, you are from armor box. At the GM's discretion, armor can reduce either some or all of the damage. I think usually it depends, but like as a guideline, up to 2 damage. That's kind of like what I did for Vortex.
Okay, in that case, I guess I'll instead mark my shield belt then.
Hell yeah! So you can take you're gonna take 1 stress from the 3
Okay.
that would have hit Clint 6 then. What does that
Okay.
look like when you block the big knife that it spat at Clint 6? Honestly, like it soars through the smiley face.
Yeah, I think because I am wearing the shield belt, like it like it's going straight at me, but the like we see like the glimmer of like it hitting the shield, and most of it like, and it kind of bursts into pixels, some of which like still like go through the shield and like glance at me, a glancing blow, which is why I still suffer the 1 stress.
Yeah. And yeah, I'm going 6 here now. But you're all quite close to Alabaster Prime. And I think we'll cut away from it for a moment to Vortex. Vortex, because you're part of the coding holding up the raceway, you can sense where the race is going. But Barrel is like getting you broken Barrel off for now. What are you doing? What do you do? I think the only thing we left is that like Alabaster Prime. They're the last remaining thing. I think I'm gonna probably put up a clock for them. But actually I will do that. Eliminate Alabaster Prime. So I'll say right now, as part of the success, you're gonna reveal a clock to take care of them. I think I'm gonna make it 6 steps. There we go. There we go. Yeah, Vortex, what are you up to?
I'm going to, let's see. Alabaster hasn't ticked his clock in it. I'm going to do something as my shape suggests, which is that I am going to bend the local reality. And so the straightaway in the middle of the race gets a Coriolis effect to it. That it tends to pull the racers hard over, into one side, closer to the rail, make Alabaster more vulnerable. Make it harder for him to pull away, because his vehicle will have to fight this sideways force, in order to proceed, but also make it tend to bunch him up with my people, my friends who are following him.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I think that sounds like what's going to be called a setup action. Basically, what that means, like whoever's going to
Yes.
follow up in what you do is going to get extra effect.
Yes.
Hell yeah. So what are you rolling as a function for to do this?
I really don't know.
This could be restoring. Like
I was thinking it's a restore. In that this, this part of this raceway was a loop last week, and then they've extended it to a long oval, but it was circular last time, and so I'm going to have it remember as part of the raceway. Remember that it actually turns in a tight circle instead of going the way. So that the curve's a lot harder than it actually does.
God. All right. I think this is you're still in a desperate position.
And I'm going to push.
Hell yeah. So take 2 stress. You're in still in a desperate position because Beryl is still there.
Yes.
You're kind of like focusing on the race more than on her.
Now,
so
I took the stress you did before because the overcharge does not do what it said. Somehow the wrong text got put in.
Oh, damn.
In there.
That's my bad.
So I fixed it. But I'm gonna to use that special effect. So anyway, here it comes.
Okay. All right.
It's a 6, and I am additionally going to use the overcharge properly this time, which is to be sheathed in lightning. So the vortex, when the vortex spins up, lightning crackles through the whole thing, and if Beryl's going to touch me, she's going to get toasted.
Jesus. All right. Hell yeah.
She can talk to me. She can try to ping me from a distance, but she can't close.
Yeah, I think you can feel her like touch kind of like draw back from the intensity of the lightning. And I think even in the raceway, you can feel this crackle of energy, especially where you are with Alabaster, since the raceway is now shifting thanks to Vortex's actions. And so there's now like a loop. And yeah, I think, Clint 6, Foxtrot, you've got I think Alabaster is like confused. And they're like, what? And the way they're driving is they're jutting out of the cube, and they just got like a steering wheel. It looks ridiculous. And they're like, what? I paid that damn architect good memory for their services. And they kind of like turn and they see the Mario Kart coming. Foxtrot is battling this rogue process with a Boji smiley face. Clint is on the wheel.
Foxtrot, would you like
This
to do
is
the honors?
serious business, Leandro.
I think you can hear Jazz yelling as you're kind of like fighting the rogue process. Foxtrot, I don't really care for the friends or some of the friends you've made. Clang. Slash.
They're hardly a friend, Jazz.
Well, the roster of people you call friends isn't exactly invigorating. No offense, Queen 6.
I'm not sure if I can hear the sword talking. Can I hear?
Nah, you can hear him talking.
Unless you have electronic earplugs.
Jazz, I really need Foxtrot to focus now. Could you please give us a moment?
Yeah, who wants to? I was gonna ask. I think the two of you were gonna talk about who wants to deal the final blow.
I mean,
I
I
was
was
gonna
gonna
try.
have to. I was gonna try to deal with the rogue process. So if Clint
Sure.
wants to deal with,
Yeah, go for
uh,
it.
oh no, I was turning it over to you if you want to deal with taking care of what's his face,
Cube
Alabaster.
face, alabaster. Yeah.
Okay, it's gonna be really weird because I have to like stand up and I'm like driving with just like my foot in the steering wheel, and we see that I have no idea from where, but like Clint Six is now standing with like a ship's cannon under his arm, and this is like this like old pirate ship cannon, and he's and I'm like declaring I have like I can declare. Once per score, declare a target you have previously gathered info on. So I think I have to first say that we see a flashback when I'm actually talking to the obelisk about Alabaster Prime in general.
Yeah, I'll let you have that because throughout the whole gathering, we've been talking about this mysterious user
Yeah.
razor. Yes.
Yeah. So I'm holding this like huge cannon, and I'm driving with my foot in the steering wheel, and I'm shouting to Alabaster, "I will not allow you to make a deal with this bastard." And with the second hand, I'm just like taking the torch and firing the cannon, and the cannon is actually my particle accelerator, which is scoped,
I thought
highly
it was.
destabilizing, shoots cannons this time.
Is your license legit? Maybe it used to be, though they kicked you out.
I don't think it's legit.
Okay, all right.
So hopefully the troublemakers will not find me with this.
The question is, once you've modded something, is it really the same weapon anymore? So does the license still apply?
Cool. So I'm gonna say, because of just your position, you're using your foot in the steering wheel. You're still in a desperate position, but the effect is gonna be great because of the particle accelerator and also of Vortex's help. It's honestly in the extreme, which would be like 5 ticks, but you only need 3. Eliminate Alabaster is ticked in half thanks to Vortex's action. So this is it. And you're gonna push yourself for free. Because you
I will push myself in this so I will push myself for a die in this case, because I wanted to push for the effect, but if the effect is already extreme, I will push myself for the die. So I will be rolling 3 dice from a pink.
do Foxtrot, do you want to help?
I am dealing with something with my own problems right now, Leandro.
Okay, all right. Okay, fair enough. All right. 3d6. Desperate extreme. Hell yeah.
Sorry, I'm not used to when these dice are re-rolling and when they are not re-rolling.
Yeah, it's weird. Why are they sideways? Are they sideways for you as well?
Yeah.
No, but they clump up. They are clumping up for no good reason. At any rate, you nailed it though.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. What does this look like?
Yeah, so you said that he's now just driving the translucent cube with the steering wheel, and he's like looking what's happening outside, and we see this like huge cannonball just like goes through and just like smashes inside his cube, and maybe he's like looking at like what is happening there, and we see that this is now a holy hand grenade, and it starts to play some Ave Maria or something, and then there's like
oh my god. Yeah, and I think I'm always kind of like of the position that like once you kind of like do the objective, the score is kind of like over. So I think what we'll see is so I guess I do want to ask Foxtrot, how are you dealing with M, who is just attacking you, and then we'll kind of like close it out with how y'all get away / win, because it sounds like you're winning the race.
Last participant.
Yeah, from last to first. That's amazing.
Well, it's always a risk in a demolition derby, right?
Well, I mean, that's what you get the yellow vest for in this
Right.
sport. all your competitors died.
Well, they'll come back. No one really.
Yeah, no, they'll come back.
Well, in defense, many of them were just washed off the track.
Yeah. Like, and Ella is somewhere in the desert. The only one who's really de-resed is Alabaster. Yeah, I think if it's okay, Foxtrot, because we're kind of closing it out, Em's kind of gonna get away. They're gonna turn back into a
Sure.
motorcycle. Or what?
Sure.
Or this? What do you want to do with that? With
I do. Let's see here. Do I have anything that might be useful here? Yeah, no, I do think that like I try to like bring my blade down to cut off one of its limbs.
Ooh, do you wanna take one of its limbs?
Yes.
Okay, that is gonna be a roll. I think that's gonna be like the kind of like that, and we'll catch up with what's happening with
Cool.
Vortex.
Position
But, yeah.
effect here.
Let's see. It's still kind of you're not Mario Kart. It's not really the biggest platform. It was good enough for 2, but there's 3, and one of them is trying to kill you.
Yeah, that's fair.
So yeah, this is desperate. I'd say. Let's see. You're using your attuned node cutter. I would say it's still kind of standard because they're your rival. So it kind of like evens out. Actually, I should have asked. What are you rolling?
I'm rolling the crash because
yeah. Oh, I see. You've already marked XP there, Clint, for the desperate particle accelerator. Cool. So, all right. So that you're a desperate standard. You wanna push yourself or take a demon's bargain?
Sure. Do you have a demon's bargain for me?
Yeah. I think one of its blades that's comprising its hand is gonna get lodged into Jazz, and there's going to be a and that they're gonna be lodged in deep, and gonna trigger one of Jazz's traits, which is glitched, which is gonna affect Jazz in the next score. More.
Sure, I'm gonna do that. I'll take that. So I'll roll 4 dice. And you said it was desperate standard?
Yes.
Sure. I'm gonna mark 2 stress and push it up to great.
Sure.
Cannot take the devil's bargain and push yourself.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You
yeah.
can't push yourself for effect. You just can't push yourself for the die, I believe.
I think you cannot use both, but I'm not sure.
Let me see. Pushing for effect, because I vaguely remember reading something like that. Oh, was it mortal? Yeah, I think here it is. Still get one of the normal benefits, but I don't think you can do both. You either push yourself or take the demons. Yes, the demon's bargain.
Okay.
I read that correct. Yes, or it says here.
I think that's for dice specifically, but I can look it up later.
Yeah. Well, I'd say or on the side of caution, because like.
Okay, I got a 6.
Okay, well, you get a 6 anyway. Oh yeah. See, the fun thing with if I run Fortune Dark games, everyone just gets a 6 anyway. It's all good. Don't worry about it. That's just what happens when I run these games. Yeah. What does this look like? You said you're taking an arm.
Yep.
From M.
Yeah, I think I bring the blade down, and it like the smiley emoji turns into a angry devil emoji as it like comes, as it goes like rolling back as our on the racetrack as our cart zooms ahead.
Yeah, I think yeah, it transforms back into a motorcycle, but you're clinging this arm as Clint is hopefully just steering this, and you zoom back into the pavilion, and crowd unexpectedly, because announcers were like, and in first place after a thrilling, death-defying, gravity-defying, physics-defying, all sorts of defiance all around, our winner of the Sunset Over Mercury finale, the insert crew name here, which you haven't decided yet, or do you have a name that
I have
you?
a race name.
You're a winner, and yeah, there's there's unexpected cheers, and you see that actually the crowd is like a low poly PS2 WWE crowd, that is just kind of like a bunch of prostitutes going like, yeah. You see some of them are holding alabaster signs, and they put it down and they're holding up. It's now your crew name signs, and I think. And you can see there's like a crowd of like actual users waiting to like present you the cup and whatnot. I'll say, Clint, you see at the background, you see there's like a man with like a hat and like sunglasses who was clearly was not expecting this. Zer looks at you and kind of like you can see them visibly pull up like a phone, and it starts is calling someone and is talking to someone as your eyes kind of like meet.
Yeah, and I look at them and I just go for my fingers.
Hell yeah. Meanwhile, down in the foundations, I think Beryl, you've made the lightning show up for like, so I think Beryl will just like slip away, but I think they're just kind of like they're slipping away. They're saying like, oh dear, you never really change, do you? No matter how many times you've been reset.
What?
They're gone.
I do. I damage a few things for no reason. Not enough to cause a huge. I just break a few things. Just at random. Just throw a lightning bolt into a console and crack a column in half and things like that, and then I finally gather myself and get out of there.
Oh yeah. Okay. We'll deal with what you've won, whatever cup you get. We'll deal with payoff and whatnot next session. For now, let's do end of session XP gathering. So I'm gonna go left to right on the character keeper. We'll go through these questions. So we'll start with Vortex. At the end of each session, for each item below, mark 1 XP in your playbook or in an attribute, or 2 XP if that item occurred multiple times. Vortex, did you address a challenge with chaos or construction?
I think I did that multiple times. Yes.
Yes. I'll take 2 XP. Did you express your beliefs, recall, heritage, or history?
I did. I referred. Yeah, I referred to the giant holes in my memory, and the frustration with that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and I'll leave it to yourselves if it's if it's 1 or 2 XP. I think
I'll call that out just once.
Okay. Did you struggle with issues relating to your rivals or drifts?
Yes, absolutely. She was right there. It's trying to frustrate my every move. I had to vortex up to throw her off.
Hell yeah.
Get rid of her, and she still got in a parting gouge, which I don't know what it means.
We'll probably find out.
I'm gonna call things barrel and break them. I'm just gonna rename a few random processes as barrel, and then smash them to pieces.
God. Cool.
And
Up
I know they're not
next.
her, but if there's like the equivalent of, yeah, it's like equivalent of writing your name on a
Ye-
on a doll or something like that, and then crushing it with a hammer.
It's cathartic, you know.
Is it?
Mm,
Or is it psychotic? I'm not sure.
it's
There's
a
a big.
little
I'm
bit
not sure there's
psychotic.
a sharp line there.
Cool. Clint 6. Did you address a challenge with tracking or precision?
I was tracking to find out who are they dealing with, and then I use precision to eliminate this person.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, you still have to be precise with a particle accelerator, you know. You were on two moving vehicles. Yeah, no, I wasn't gonna quibble. Did you express your beliefs, recall, heritage, or history?
I was nailing really hard on my heritage. I think I was trying to be as eclectic as only possible. So
Yeah, absolutely.
and adventurous by jumping to the other motorcycle and then jumping back.
God, it's so much. Ridiculous. That was amazing.
Well, once you guys picked a Mario Kart.
Yeah. Did you struggle with issues relating to your rivals or drifts? You know, you don't have to have struggled directly with your rival, but with issues. What I wanted to add to that final bit is like the person Gant was talking to when you were tracking them was Zer, who was like talking back. That was what I was trying to do. I was trying to relate those two together. It's up to you if you want to count that as an XP or not.
Well, not for me. They didn't have I didn't have any issues from my rivals. Others had their rivals.
Okay. All right. Cool. Foxtrot. Did you address a challenge with force or protection?
Yeah, I think definitely with protection.
Mhm.
Do you think that the race maneuver counts as with force, even though Clint was the one doing the shooting?
Yeah. Also, you're beating up. You were smashing down on M.
Yeah, that was the one I was thinking for protection.
Oh, well, the other protect. What I was thinking is when you took the arm from M was force. That was what I was thinking as well.
Oh,
but
okay.
yeah. I'd say you get both.
Okay.
Did you express your beliefs, recall, heritage, or history?
Yeah, I think I actually did a little bit in the earlier conversation with Blue.
Did you struggle with issues relating to your rivals or drifts?
Well, yeah, definitely there one as well. Do I have? Oh, there it is. And then did I experience complications due to my living weapons traits? I think a little bit.
Yeah, it's nice for you to have the extra XP trigger to lean on. Yeah, ain't it? Yeah.
It's 5 total.
Yeah. Cool. One last thing, crew XP. Did you execute a successful battle, extortion, negotiation, or subjugation operation? Oh yeah, you were definitely battling, true.
Yeah, battle.
Hell yeah. Did you contend with challenges above your current station? I'd say yeah, you went from dead last to up first, and there was a lot of like other stuff going on. I'm gonna give you that 1 XP. So I want to be nice. Did you bolster your crew's reputation or develop a new one? Gee, were you aggressive?
Yeah.
God. I'll say because it says here that if it applies multiple times, I think you all aggressive in your own way. From down below, up on top, bullshitting your way into this race.
Yeah.
God,
Aggressive. Awesome.
Y'all are a lot. And did you express the goals, drives, inner conflict, or essential nature of your crew? Kind of a bit. Like I said, it's part of the reputation. And we were talking about in the first session that you were kind of like a dynasty who was looking after other people. So you took the job to like stop this expansion, right?
Yes.
Maybe 1. Cool. And we'll dive more into what the drives, goals, inner conflict, and essential nature of the crew is next time. So with that, I'm going to stop this recording, and I'll let you all well, we'll let whoever's watching it or listening to this go. Folks are interested, there's a link down below in the description for Gauntlet and for this game. Other than that, we'll see you all next time, YouTube. Bye bye.